Alright everyone, we back again with another modding video, because that's what I'm all about lately. Sit back and relax cause we're about to get hot and spicy into this new modded tower showcase. Before I get to that though, while we're on the topic of hot stuff, let me just talk about how damn warm the weather has been in my area lately, hitting well over 30 degrees Celsius over the weekend, which is around 90 inferior units for those living in the USA. That may not sound very hot for people living in tropical climates, but here in Canada 30 degrees is pretty unprecedented for late September weather, especially when the average high should only be slightly below 20 and the humidity makes it feel closer to 40. Anyways, back on topic. This tower I'm showcasing is what I'd like to call the Grape Shooter, because that's exactly what it does, shoot out grapes. Replacing the glue flamethrower in the previous mod, it's time to see whether or not this thing is an upgrade or a downgrade. Let's take a look at all of the Grape Shooter's upgrades as per usual. I know it probably won't sync up very well with the pace of the game, but oh well, just bear with me and we'll make it through together with the aid of some screenshots. So first off, its base tower is the ninja icon on the tower select tab, and fittingly it costs $500 as well, not to mention the grape projectile it shoots has 2 popping power and fires at around the same speed as the ninja. Is that spooky or what? It's basically a 0-0 ninja without combo detection except disguised as a glue monkey and with grapes instead of shurikens. With that said, it does make the base Grape Shooter tower pretty weak when you compare it to the other base towers in this mod, so let's see if the first tier upgrades can lend it a helping hand. Here is a screenshot of both sides' descriptions. Starting on the left side we have double the popping power on each grape shot for just $400, from 2 Bloons to 4. Sounds like a deal to me. Pretty basic upgrade, though, so it's still a little on the underpowered side compared to shit like the Hacker Monkey. Speaking of which, that's what I'm using to complement the Grape Shooter right now, and needless to say it's working well, but that's mostly because the Hacker Monkey is broken as hell, and you'll see why in the last game of this video. So back to the upgrades. First tier Whiteside essentially gives frag bombs to each grape projectile, exploding into 16 little pieces when it either uses up all its popping power or reaches its maximum range. For $500 it ain't too bad a deal. You'll definitely want to purchase it for every grape shooter you place down, cause I reckon it'll be useful even in the late game. Once big bad blimps come around, that extra damage from the shrapnel will sure add up. Second tier now. And here are its descriptions. Damn it, Jambite or whoever wrote these descriptions, you missed a really great opportunity here to call this upgrade double penetration instead of dual, and you even spelled dual wrong. Regardless of the name, it's still a pretty good upgrade cause you basically double your balloon penetrating power from the grape for just $500, compare that to $900 for getting up another 1-0 Grape Shooter. While all of this sounds good on paper so far, I should let you know that it ain't quite all sunshine, lollipops and rainbows, cause you have to remember this thing called power creep in this mod. In reality a lower tier Grape Shooter will struggle mightily against round 6 orange balloons unless you build a fortune's worth of them. Trust me, you will see. Let me hold off on the chatter because I'm about to manhandle this rush with the power of grapes and hackers. Most of the credit goes to the hackers though. That slow plus balloon trap frenzy is just insane. Unfortunately I wasn't able to finish off the entire rush since Tyler died beforehand, but at least you got to see some of that grape ability in action, which I'll talk about real soon. While this Blastopopulous game goes on, let's continue the showcase with the second tier Whiteside upgrade. Nothing much to say here. It's simply a $200 combo detection upgrade, which is pretty cheap compared to other such upgrades in the game. So third tiers, well here you go, take a good look at them. Nature's Call and Stall and Spread, quite interesting upgrade names to say the least. You would expect Nature's Call to have something to do with liquids of some sort, but no, it's another type of nature in the form of lightning, which is unleashed every time the grape projectile makes contact. From my 1-hour experience with the upgrade, it's not too weak and it isn't too strong either. Its power level seems just about right, although that may not seem to be the case because of how damn strong these AI balloons become once the mid-game rolls around. On the other side, stall and spread basically freezes balloons in a small radius wherever the grape connects, and to my knowledge doesn't pop any extra balloons. It's a pretty cheap upgrade and as such, you get what you pay for. To elaborate further on that, buying this upgrade may prove to be detrimental to your defense if it mostly consists of projectiles that can't break through ice, such as grapes. If the grape hits a frozen balloon, it's pretty much done for, so would you look at that, the Grape Shooter has an upgrade that essentially half counters itself, lol. Now I can't exactly tell if the freezing ability was the downfall for my death here, but let's say it did cause I really needed some raw popping power more than anything. Goddamn those comma regrow AI balloons layering on top of Tyler's zebras. Oh well, on to the next one where spoiler alert, a similar thing happens. I still haven't talked about the grape's 4th tiers yet, but I think questions and answers will take priority here. I got 2 of them today. First one, Christian asks for my opinion on the newer Coldplay albums, seeing as I mentioned I liked their music in the previous video. Well, just like I mentioned in the video, I'm not a fan of recent mainstream music, and the same kind of applies to Coldplay. The tracks I enjoy most from them are pretty much all in their older albums. I'd say their new music is okay but not something I would jam the hell out of, and if I'm being honest I don't really keep track of anything outside of their singles. LOL, like I said before, I'm not exactly a die-hard fan. Here's another music-related question. Are you someone that listens to music for the beat or for the lyrics? In general, the beat/melody is what will draw me in the most, although both are important to some extent. For me, I'll listen to anything for the beat as long as the lyrics aren't absolute nonsense like Deep Throat or Anaconda. For the record, I don't like the beat for either of those songs. Just giving you an example of lyrics that will turn me off, I don't think I have any songs in my playlist that sing about butts or blow jobs, at least I hope. On the other side of the spectrum, I can't think of any examples where I have a song in my playlist just for the powerful lyrics. It's gotta have some sort of beat that hooks me in too before I take into account the lyrics. I guess one example of such would be that new 1800 song. Obviously some strong and touching lyrics, but I don't think it's something that I'd want to listen to over and over. The beat just doesn't stick for me. Thanks for the quality questions. I know I said in a comment I would answer a different question in this video, but I forgot I had these 2 in my queue first, so I put that on hold till next time. Alrighty, perfect timing cause now you got to see me fall victim to the deadly AI balloons yet again. Turns out the lightning was the main issue this time, since they caused a massive regrow farm on the other side of the map. Last but not least we have our final game, which you might have seen before if you were an Aliens Rock 50 fan. If you haven't seen his perspective of these modded games yet, then go check them out. He's basically doing the same thing as me right now by going over some of these new towers, such as the flamethrower turret. Shit, well I better wrap up the final 2 4th tier upgrades before I go. Quickly, left side costs $2,500 and makes the Grape Shooter shoot even faster and pack a bigger punch. It's pretty cheap for a 4th tier tower, so that's probably why it isn't as strong as one would like a maxed out tower to be. It's still very vulnerable to giant-ass group rushes, so you're going to need some assistance from other sources. The final upgrade to mention is the ability, which costs around $8,000, and if you saw from the first game, it pretty much summons a humongous grape that ends up splitting into tinier grapes after flying around the map for a bit. I doubt it's of any use, though, since it doesn't seem to get any extra Moab popping power boost, so it's mostly just for cleaning up balloons across the map. You'll see some of that in action later on in this match, but it may be covered up by the mass amount of monkey hackers I'm about to lay all over this field. How's that for a swift rundown of an entire tower? Hopefully you got the gist of what I had to say. Overall it's a very average tower in terms of strength in this mod, but I reckon if this was made as a standalone tower in the real version of Battles, it would probably see a decent amount of play. Signing off now. Remember to drop a like to show some support, and a subscription too if you want to catch the next video coming out in a few days. Have a fruity day.